Hello again, everybody. This is Rocketrickj18, and today I'm going to talk to you about some pickups that I've made recently. Um, and I haven't had a chance to make a video in a little bit, mostly because I've been running back and forth between uh, my daughter's uh, hometown and ours. And we had a good friend that passed away, and so that's been a little tough, but these are just some cards that have come in within the last couple of weeks. Not too big, but I think some interesting ones. The first card that I have to show you is the 1924 Ogden's Leaders of Men, and this is Lord Nelson. Nelson was, of course, the great admiral of the British fleet during the Napoleonic Wars. He won some really great sea battles, uh, including the Battle of the Nile and I think the Battle of St. Vincent, and then ultimately his great victory over the French and Spanish combined fleets of Napoleon in the Battle of Trafalgar, in which he was killed at the actual almost minute of his uh, great victory. It was shot by a sailor in the rigging of the last ship that he engaged, and England lost its greatest naval hero in that battle. But he crushed the fleet so um, soundly that all of Napoleon's threats to invade England were hopes of and his hopes of doing so were crushed at that battle, and he never again was able to mount a serious threat to do so, to invade England. So that's Lord Nelson, 1924. Ogden's is a branch of the Imperial Tobacco Company in Great Britain and Ireland, and they issued this a number of different series of cards, including this series, Leaders of Men. This is card number 34 of the 50 cards in the series. The next card that I'm going to show you is from the 1939 Ogden set of sea adventures. And this is again the Napoleon's ship, the HMS Victory. Um, and it commemorates, just read this, the Battle of St. Vincent in 1797, in which he actually ignored orders, and when he realized that some of the ships were going to, of the enemy, were going to sail off. Again, this is in the Napoleonic Wars. Were going to sail away and escape, and he cut them off and uh, captured several of the larger ships in doing so. Uh, so Napoleon, Nelson, in addition to being killed at Trafalgar, also lost an eye in one battle and lost an arm in another battle. He was made a viscount uh, in 17 or 1801 rather, um, and he was just famous for his strategies uh, in uh, in in sea battles and getting these huge ships in a position to do the greatest amount of damage to the enemy. His seamanship was unparalleled. So this is from the 1939 Ogden set, Sea Adventure, and it is card number 38 out of 50. So now we go back to, from the sublime to the ridiculous, I guess you could sort of say. Um, a great historical figure to uh, an umpire in the National League during the 1941 season. And this is Albert Dolly Stark. And he was, this is one of the very few umpire cards, and it's from the 1940 play ball set, card number 117. Uh, the card notes that Dolly Stark was a protege of the Hall of Fame umpire Bill Clem, and was very well thought of uh, in Major League Baseball. So again, card number 117, and as most of you know that follow this channel, I'm in the process of hopefully one day collecting the 1940 play ball set. So I really like this. It has some great retired players in it, as in that set, as well as contemporary players. And of course, the key cards, as you might expect for just about any set worth its while during this time period, are the Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams cards. And this set, of course, precedes the color version of a somewhat similar, although much smaller set, the 1941 play ball set that was, uh, during the incredibly famous year of 1941 that saw Joe DiMaggio hitting 56 consecutive games safely. Then he was robbed of a couple of hits in a game up in Cleveland when Ken Keltner fielded balls that looked like they were destined for at least singles and maybe doubles, and retired uh, DiMaggio on both occasions. And that took place at League Park in Cleveland, which is no longer in existence, although the site of League Park is commemorated, and there's I guess, a group of Cleveland baseball fans that have taken on that project to keep the site known and as the former League Park. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of that. And of course, uh, Williams hit 400 in that season, the last Major League Baseball player to do so. So it's now been over 80 years since a major leaguer batted 400. And then in the National League, it goes all the way back to 1930 when Bill Terry hit 400 for the New York Giants. The next card I have to show you is from another set that I'm in the process of collecting, and this is Clint Harang with the New York Giants. And Clint was an outfielder. He hit 300 several times. Was a very good ball player, and his name featured prominently in many of the sets from this era. This is card number 141 from the set, and anyway, that's some kind of on my way. I've got about 218 cards, something like that, uh, from the 407 card set. So better than halfway, although not halfway in dollars, because you know who's out there. And whether or not I ever get one of those remains to be seen, but I'd sure like to have one. The next two cards are from the 1964 Top Stand-Up set, and one is a card that's in very rough shape, but I got it at a highly favorable price. And you'll see it here. This is the Frank Robinson from the set, and you'll notice that in the left-hand corner or right-hand corner, there's a stain, and there are also pin holes, two of them, in the vicinity atop Frank's head. On the back side, there appear to be what are tape marks. These sets are perforated uh, horizontally across the center of the card, and then around the figure, the top half of Frank's body. There, you can see the outline of the perforations around his body, and that's the way all of these cards are. They were intended to be punched out, and then you could then fold the card in half to make it stand up, hence the name. And I'm down to, I started out at needing nine of these cards, all of them short prints, and therefore pretty expensive. So being able to save some money on this card was really a big help. So now I'm down to 7. And here is the other card. It is the Juan Marell from the 1964 Top set stand-up set, and it is in a PSA 4. Of course, we're all got the news about PSA swallowing up SGC. Whether or not it's confirmed yet, we don't know. But if that's what happens, my opinion is it's not going to be anything good for collectors, because I think SGC was a pretty good competitor. They certainly offered an advantage in terms of time and sometimes in the cost, although the competition has got the price down to generally about $15. Uh, Whether or not they jump up is still to be known. I just can't imagine anything good coming out of this for collectors. So, whether or not it does, who can say? But I've spent a long time uh, in the legal profession, retired now, and I've never known a case where a merger or acquisition increased competition and provided any benefits to the consumers. And of course, collectors are the consumers of these graded cards. Uh, the flippers, they're in and out of stuff all the time, but these cards are going into my collection, and I don't think they'll uh, they'll ever leave. At least not until I pass on to my final reward, whatever that may be. Uh, so anyway, this is the Juan Marell, and this gets me down to 7 cards, and I'm hoping to get a couple more in the short term, and maybe sometime within the next year or two finish this set. So that's what I have for you, and I thank you for watching and for your interest. Uh, Certainly hope you'll like this video, and if you don't subscribe yet, please do so. And hopefully we'll have more videos of interest to collectors. And um, I do want to thank the everybody who participated in my contests so far, commemorating my first year on YouTube and my passing 300 subscribers. I wanted to say that I was invited to be on the Golden Age of Cardboard with Mike Moynihan, and I shot from around 283 subscribers, I think, to around 353 now. So it just shows you how much of an impact on the hobby Mike has, and I was very happy to be on that show, and I really enjoyed it, and hope to come back again sometime. So, with all of that being said, this is Rocketrickj18 wishing that all your collecting dreams come true.